Do I have a video for you guys? Champions League just happened yesterday, in the morning for me. And, I'm really excited. I ended up after, the groups are drawn, I was like, I'm going to get my predictions out. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to be doing the group stage prediction, early final prediction, early winner prediction, and then top scorer. So, let's get into the groups. We've got a Group A, Liverpool, Ajax, Rangers, and Napoli. What do I think this goes? Well, I think, Liverpool's still suffering from injuries and they have midfield problems, but I do think they're the best team here either way. So I got Liverpool in first. Now, second place, it's really between Napoli and Ajax. I think Ajax just lost their manager. They're going to be losing a center back, and they're most likely going to be losing a winger in Anthony. And I checked the lineup, I checked their scores. I haven't really been watching Ajax like that because, I don't really watch the Netherlands League. But I did put on a couple highlights, and I don't see the same kind of flair that we've seen in their little magical Champions League run where they got to the semis, or last season when they had Haller, scoring a whole bunch of goals. But I think what typically happens when big changes come to Ajax, I think we see them kind of drop off for a year. So that's why I put Napoli in second place and Ajax in third. They'll be in Europa League, but they're going to have that drop-off year. And then next year, you're going to just see a whole bunch of young players come up and the whole world want to buy them. And then fourth, I have Rangers. They're still a tricky team. I really want to watch Rangers-Liverpool, see how that goes, but it's good. It's still a tricky team. I could definitely see them stealing some points off, the other three teams. But I got Liverpool, Napoli, Ajax, Rangers. Now, Group B. This is kind of a tricky one. I think Atletico wins the group, no doubt about it. I think they're built for these types of tournaments. Champions League, two-legged kind of games. So, I think Atletico wins the group. Second place and third, I think it's really going to be Porto and Leverkusen between those two. And to be honest, Porto just came off, winning the league in Portugal, and they've had a little bit of history, doing well in the Champions League. Leverkusen, I think they did sign a really good striker, but when I checked their league, they have been struggling. So as of now, I have Porto second, Leverkusen third, and then Club Brugge, another team that I could see taking off points from the other three teams, at fourth. Now, Group C, this is one of those groups that people are trying to say it's the group of death. I think Group D is, but C is probably the second or third best group. So we've got, Barca, Inter, Bayern, and then Pilsen. So I think Bayern wins the group. I don't think anybody thinks, except Barca fans, that Bayern isn't winning the group. Second place here. Now, the thing is, Barcelona have had a history of trouble with Bayern, and they've had their success with them. And then Inter, when, Inter has gotten the better side of these games. If you look up Barca versus Inter, what do you look up? Jose Mourinho running in the Camp Nou, pointing in the sky or to the fans, saying, we did it, and going to the Champions League final. So I'm going to go, history repeats itself. Inter second place, Barca back in the Europa League, and then obviously Pilsen fourth. Nobody thinks they're not going to be fourth here. So that's what I got. Bayern, Inter, Barca, Pilsen. I just think, this is probably the worst matchups that Barca could have got. I think this is possibly the worst group. The only thing worse that could have happened is Olympique de Marseille in here instead of Pilsen, because they were in the fourth pot. So if that would have happened, things would have been really tough, and I wouldn't have even put Barca to have a chance of getting out of the group. And I'm not trying to sound like a hater here, but I'm predicting it. I'm putting out my opinion. I think Bayern, they're probably the best team in the Champions League, or arguably, one of. And then you got Inter, a tricky team to play in Champions League, and they've had a lot of success against Barca. I do understand this is a completely different Barca. And, they do have a goal-scoring machine. And then Lewandowski, I think they're not going to be able to win against Bayern. I think they could probably get a point off Bayern. And I think a loss and a draw. Inter, I think they can maybe steal a win or maybe a point off Bayern. I think Bayern's going to be 15 points around that. And then against Barcelona, I think they're definitely going to split it there, and then we'll see what they do against Pilsen and Bayern. I think that's what will come down to, and I just think Inter has a better chance of getting a win against Bayern than Barca, and I think that's why I put him at second and Barca third. I don't want to sound like a hater, though. I know Barca fans are going to be like in the comments, oh, how can you do this? Well, I want to hear it, though. I want to see the comments on why you think Barca can beat Bayern or Inter. I don't think they're going to have much success. I think they could get one win off those two teams. Now, Group D, the real group of death. We have Sporting, we have Spurs, we have Marseille, and we have the Europa League champs, Frankfurt. Now, here, as I'm recording, there's these, outlets saying that Ronaldo is going to Sporting, 99% done deal. And then I was like, all right, I might as well start adding as if Ronaldo was going to be playing in Sporting in this group. And then I see a report about Ronaldo to Marseille or whatever. And I'm just like, all right, you guys are losing the plot. I don't even know what's going on with him. So, Ronaldo, it seems like there's a possibility he can go to Olympic, then Marseille or Sporting. So I'm just going to act as if he hasn't. I could change this easily if he ends up signing to one of these two teams. Do I think he will? No, I think he'll stay at United. I think it's blown out of proportion what's going on there. But Group D. Now, before I get into this, I want you guys to know this is prediction. So, fourth place I'll start off with is Sporting de Lisboa. I think these guys are, they're a tricky team, but I don't see them really doing much in this group. I think the other three teams are better and are going to have more success. Now, third place, this is where it gets controversial. I have Tottenham. Yes, I have Tottenham. Why do I have Tottenham in third? Well, their manager, Conte, has had a kind of a label on him that he's not very successful in the Champions League and European competitions. Yes, we've seen his work in Inter where, he won the league. But what did he do in the Champions League? He got grouped. So, I think the same thing happens here. He has a tough group here. It's not anything Tottenham should be losing to and not getting out of. But I think it's not very easy. It's not extremely hard. You don't got Bayern, you don't got Inter, you don't got Napoli, you don't got nothing crazy. You have a team like Marseille that can be tricky. I think they're a quality side. And then you've got Frankfurt who just won the Europa League. So I think Tottenham will struggle a little bit and they will kind of fumble the bag here. I think they're the clear favorites out of this group, but they will get third and they'll still see European competition in the Europa League. They'll see their rivals Arsenal there. And, second place, I have the Europa League champions, Frankfurt. Yep, I think Frankfurt is built for these kind of things. They really impressed me last Europa League. They really went through tough teams. They went and beat Barca when they were, new and improved with the striker like Aubameyang. Everyone's saying this Barca team's crazy. They just beat Madrid 4-0. Everybody's hyping them up. And then Frankfurt go in there and beat them. So, what do I say there? Well, I say, I don't see why they can't do it at Tottenham if they did it at Barca. So, we have Frankfurt second. First place, I have Marseille. Now, Marseille, I think they just signed Alexis Sanchez. They have Guendouzi. They got, called Dimitri Payet. They have a ton of nice players. I look at their lineup and I'm like, damn, if they would have kept Kamara, if they would have kept them, this team would have been something else. But it is what it is. I think first in the group, I think this is going to be a team to watch out for. I think, many of the teams are going to be wanting Marseille, but they are a tricky team. And I think they could possibly be the dark horse that nobody expects to do well. And you can at me after if they end up getting grouped. But I just see Marseille. I watched them this weekend and I was like, this team is a sneaky good team. And I want to see them play against PSG because PSG is obviously the challenge of challenges as of right now. They're the best team in the world. They should just beat, Lille 7-1. So I want to see Marseille go up against them. And if they can do it as good as they did last year where they were getting a 0-0 draw against, Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi, well, we'll see how that goes, but they did lose Saliba, so that is a major hole that I saw. But I think they'll do well. Now, Group E, I think this one's pretty, simple. It's going to be Chelsea and Milan getting out of it. I think Chelsea tops the group. Milan comes in second. Salzburg third. Dynamo fourth. I don't think anyone's going to argue except the order between 1 and 2. Some people might think Milan can get the best of Chelsea. Some people might think otherwise. I just think Chelsea has spent so much that they have to top the group. And Milan, they haven't spent crazy amounts. I don't even think they made too much signings. I think they missed out on Renato Sanchez, which was like the signing that they were really trying to go after. But they didn't really lose much either. They told Arsenal Tonali is untouchable. Rafael Leao's still there, so I still see them coming out and maybe even making a run. You never know. Now, Group F, another simple group. We have Real Madrid, first place. RB Leipzig, second place. Celtic and Shakhtar, it can go either or. I think Celtic third, Shakhtar fourth. And I think it's a very simple group. Real Madrid, I think they will still have a presence in this Champions League, and we'll see how they do. I don't think they'll win it again. This can get clipped or whatnot, but come on. Winning it twice in a row, another nice little, you're going to go on a three-peat again? Nah, I don't think so. I think teams have improved. But Group G, first, all right, we got Copenhagen, Dortmund, Sevilla, and City. I think everybody knows City's getting first place and getting out of the group here. The only thing that can really hurt City, in my opinion, is a lead and Haaland getting hurt. Those are the two things. I think Haaland has had a little injury history, and Dortmund know much about that. But we'll see how Haaland does in his comeback to Dortmund. I think he'll do fine. I think he might even score. But if Haaland can stay healthy, this City team has the potential of winning it all. Just saying that. But first, Man City. I think second, Sevilla. Dortmund third, Copenhagen fourth. I think Dortmund just lost Haaland, lost a lot of players, didn't really bring in too much, didn't invest too much. They just don't see them being too much of a problem here. Europa League is where they go, and Sevilla has always been a team for the Champions League and European competitions. They do well, they strive in those, and I think they will again and get second place out of the group. We'll see how they do against City. That's an interesting game, Sevilla and City. That I think City will end up winning either way, but we'll see how complicated they make it for City. Now, Group H, we have Haifa. Never heard of that club. I'm not going to lie. Don't want to sound disrespectful. Benfica, Juventus, PSG. Well, Haifa fourth, for sure. For sure. Third, could Benfica get up there in first and second? I do not think so. I think they get third. Now we have Juventus and PSG first and second. I think PSG is the best club in the world as of now, or the best team in the world, not the club, but they're the best team. On paper, you check them out, you see where's the weakness. They've got everything. They've got leadership. They've got defense, midfield, forwards, everything, superstar. So they top the group, Juventus second. We'll see how Juventus do. I don't think they did a bad transfer window. I think they did extremely well. One of the more underrated transfer windows. They added the likes of Di Maria, who will come back to play Kylian Mbappe, who allegedly, a report came out that he wanted to get rid of all the Argentinians. He wants Paredes out, Icardi out. He was the guy who decided Di Maria not to come back. So could we see Di Maria come into PSG and just, get his little revenge? Well, we'll see how that goes. Against United, I remember this guy was in the Old Trafford celebrating the goal, and then they choke it in Paris. So we'll see how that goes. Now we move on to the top scorers. Now, as a surprise, if you know me, I don't really rate the person who I think will be top scorer. I've respected the player. I do think he's one of the greatest of all times, but I just never really liked them due to just personal reasons. But I think the top scorer is going to be Lionel Messi. Yep, that's my prediction. I think there's a record to go after. And, as I predicted here, I'm predicting that Ronaldo isn't really, or the predictions is as if Ronaldo's not in the UCL. And Messi's around 15, 16 goals away from Ronaldo's record of most goals. And I think Messi's going for it. I think he's really going to want that record. So he will go after it. He's going to be taking PKs again, and he's going to be going for it. So he will get close to it. I don't know if he'll break it. I'm not predicting that, but I think he'll score the most Champions League goals this season. Now, the two honorable mentions I had were Mane from Bayern. I think he's going to get a ton of goals. And then there's Haaland, who, if he doesn't get injured, I would actually pick him over Messi, but Messi has a better chance of staying healthy than Haaland, in my eyes, of course. So That's my little top three. Messi 1, Mane 2, Haaland 3. So those are the top scores. Now, UCL final. I was having such a tough time deciding because there's these four teams that I think are the most favored teams, and I did leave off some teams that people are going to be like, how are you leaving them off? But you got to remember, there's a strong possibility that we'll see, like, Bayern play one of these contenders in the round of 16 or quarterfinals, and it's like, whoa, keep that in mind. I also thought about, the group where they're at, and I'm like, they had a pretty easy group. They'll get out of that pretty simply. So they'll have enough momentum to go into the, round of 16 quarterfinals, semifinals, and, get to, deep in the tournament. So I have City, Bayern, PSG, which everybody's like no-brainers, Those are understandable. And then I have Atletico Madrid. Yes, I think they'll do decent. I think if they do not get into a draw with the other three teams that I listed, they will get to the semis. But that's a big if, of course, in the Champions League with the draws and all. So, what is the Champions League final I think is going to happen? It will be Bayern for sure. Bayern for sure. This team is crazy. I'll tell you that. They're dominating Germany. Now, City, PSG, or Atletico. I think Atletico on paper is the worst out of these three. So, I'm going to just say PSG. Yeah, I'm going to say PSG. I think these guys are hungry. They've paid a lot of money. And we'll see how they do against the robotic team of Bayern Munich. The most disciplined, So if they were to play, I would obviously put my money on Bayern to win it again in the final in a rematch for Mbappe and Neymar, bringing in Lionel Messi, and then a new faced Bayern Munich. No more Lewandowski. They've got Mane. Who will win? Bayern Munich. Champions League winners. Yeah, no controversial take on the winner. As of now, things could change. Transfers could still happen. We have like 5-6 days left, so we'll see how it ends off. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you stick to the end, thank you so much. I want to hear what you think in the comments. And yeah, please like and subscribe for more videos like this. Should I do a Europa League predictions or just react to Arsenal and United's group, since those are like the big name teams, you know what I'm saying? So let me know what kind of video you want to see next and what you think about my predictions. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and see you to the next one.